Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There is a secret power inside of you that the world has been trying to keep hidden. That power is unleashed the very moment you decide to stop pouring into everyone else while leaving yourself empty. The moment you say, I will focus on me. For too long, women have been trained to be everything to everybody else. Caretakers, healers, comforters, supporters. Yet when the night falls and the world gets quiet, you are left wrestling with your own emptiness. But hear me today, focusing on yourself is not selfishness, it is sacred responsibility. When you focus on yourself, you protect the vessel that God designed to carry dreams, to birth vision, to nurture purpose. A woman who takes care of herself spiritually, emotionally, and mentally cannot be stopped. She becomes a force that shifts atmospheres, breaks cycles, and creates legacies. Unstoppable women are not born, they are built. Built in the fire of trials, built in the silence of lonely nights, built in the strength of self-discovery, built in the discipline of saying no to distractions and yes to destiny. The world does not need another woman who sacrifices her soul to please everybody else. The world needs women who rise boldly in their wholeness, who can stand tall in their identity, who can pour into others without depleting themselves, because their well never runs dry. When you focus on yourself, you align with divine strategy. You stop begging for validation. You stop shrinking to fit small places. You stop apologizing for your brilliance. You stand in power, you walk in purpose, and you live unstoppable. So today, I dare you give yourself permission to evolve, permission to rest, permission to grow, permission to focus on you. Because when you focus on yourself, you are not just building your own strength, you are building the foundation for generations yet to come. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she has to look in the mirror and make a decision that says, I will no longer abandon myself to meet the demands of everyone else. A decision that declares, I will focus on me. And now let me tell you, there is a myth, a lie, a generational whisper that has been handed down from mother to daughter, culture to tradition, that says if you focus on yourself, you are selfish. That if you take time to heal, to rest, to grow, or even just to breathe, somehow you are neglecting your responsibilities. But hear me clearly, focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is survival. It is stewardship. It is sacred responsibility. See, you were not created to run on empty. You were not designed to be everybody's rescue while drowning silently in your own storm. You were never meant to give till there was nothing left of you. That is not love, that is not strength, that is slow self-destruction. And it is time to break that cycle. Focusing on yourself is not about ignoring people. It is not about turning your back on those you love. It is not about becoming cold or hard. No. It is about understanding this one truth. You cannot give what you do not have. If your soul is empty, your encouragement will be empty. If your spirit is weary, your presence will be weary. If your mind is cluttered, your guidance will be clouded. And if your heart is broken, your love will always bleed. That's why you have to focus on yourself, not because it's selfish, but because it is the only way to become whole. And wholeness is power. Wholeness is peace. Wholeness is the foundation of an unstoppable life. Let me paint this picture for you. A woman who has focused on herself walks differently. She does not beg for validation because she has already validated herself. She does not cling to toxic relationships because she has learned how to be content in her own company. She does not chase after every opportunity because she has discernment to know what aligns with her purpose. She is steady, she is grounded, she is rooted, and because of that, she is unshakable. Some of you are tired, not because you are weak, but because you have carried everybody else's burdens and left your own unattended. You've been the strong one, the dependable one, the call me if you need one. And now in the midnight hour, you're drained. I came to tell you today, it is not wrong to turn some of that care inward. It is not wrong to say, this time I choose me. Because here's the truth. And you focus on yourself, you multiply your ability to bless others. A rested woman can encourage with joy. A healed woman can love without fear. Focused woman can build something lasting. A whole woman can break generational curses and open doors for the ones coming after her. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is strategic. It is wisdom. It is strength in disguise. Every time you set a boundary, you are teaching others how to treat you. Every time you say no to what drains you, you are saying yes to what grows you. Every time you take a moment to breathe, to pray, to realign, you are giving the world a better version of yourself. And let me say this, self-focus is not about isolation. It's about alignment. It's about aligning your heart with your calling, your mind with clarity, your spirit with peace. When you are aligned, everything attached to you flows better, your family, your work, your dreams, your destiny. But here is where many stumble: guilt. That nagging guilt that whispers, you should be doing more for others. That inner critic that says, who do you think you are? Taking time for yourself. But hear me, guilt is the language of bondage. Freedom speaks differently. Freedom says, you are worthy of care. 2, freedom says, you cannot heal the world while ignoring your own wounds. Freedom says, love your neighbor as yourself, meaning you must love yourself first. If you have ever ridden on an airplane, you've heard the instructions. In the event of an emergency, put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. Why? Because if you run out of breath, you are no help to anyone. Life is the same way. You must learn to put your oxygen mask on first, not because you don't care about others, because you care enough to bring your full strength to the table. I know some of you are battling voices around you. People who don't understand. They'll say, she's changed, she's distant, she thinks she's better now. No, it's not that. It's not pride, it's not arrogance. It's growth. Growth always looks strange to people who are comfortable with your old version. But don't you dare shrink back just to make them comfortable. You owe it to yourself and to the destiny inside of you to focus on your growth. Unstoppable woman is not the one who sacrifices herself until there is nothing left. No, an unstoppable woman is one who knows her worth, guards her peace, invests in her growth, and walks boldly in her truth. That is what makes her unstoppable, not because she does it all, because she knows how to do what matters most. So, my sister, hear me well, focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the foundation of everything you are called to do. If you don't invest in yourself, who will? If you don't protect your peace, who will? If you don't honor your own soul, who will? You are too valuable, too necessary, too chosen to abandon yourself any longer. This is your moment. This is your reminder. This is your permission to choose you, because when you rise, others rise. When you shine, others see the light. Focus on yourself. You become the example that teaches others how to live free. So step into it. Walk boldly. Choose you. Because focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is the secret to becoming the unstoppable woman you were always meant to be. An unstoppable woman is not born that way. She is not handed strength on a silver platter. She is not gifted power in the cradle. An unstoppable woman is built brick by brick, decision by decision, sacrifice by sacrifice. She is shaped by the storm she survives, wisdom she gathers, the choices she makes. And at the core of her journey, 3 things rise like pillars that hold her life together: self-care, discipline, and alignment with purpose. Let's talk about self-care first. For too long, women have been praised for how much they can give, how much they can carry, how much they can endure. The world claps for the woman who breaks her back to serve everyone else, but who claps for her when she's alone and exhausted? Who celebrates her when she is silently drained, smiling while broken inside? Too often, the answer is no one. That's why an unstoppable woman learns early, or sometimes through painful lessons, that self-care is not a luxury. It is not an option. It is the fuel that keeps her alive. Self-care is more than spa days and vacations, though those can be part of it. Real self-care is the courage to stop when you are overwhelmed. It is the wisdom to rest when you are tired. It is the strength to say no when something is not healthy for your soul. It is nurturing your body with what it needs, guarding your mind from toxic voices, and feeding your spirit with truth. A woman who neglects herself cannot last, but a woman who honors herself becomes a well of strength that does not run dry. Now let's look at discipline. Discipline is the builder's hand. It is the architect of destiny. Without discipline, dreams remain wishes. Without discipline, potential stays locked up inside. Discipline is what separates those who talk about becoming unstoppable from those who actually become unstoppable. Disciplined woman wakes up with intention. She understands that success is not built in a day, but in daily habits. She knows how to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term victories. She trains her emotions because she understands that feelings are not always facts. She practices consistency because she knows that greatness is not achieved by a single act of brilliance, but by the steady repetition of faithful effort. Discipline is not easy. It requires saying no to distractions that look good but do not serve your destiny. It means closing the door on laziness, procrastination, and excuses. It means showing up even when you don't feel like it, pushing forward even when no one is clapping, staying the course even when the results seem slow. But here's the truth: a woman who masters discipline becomes unstoppable because nothing, no storm, no delay, no setback can break her rhythm. And then we come to alignment with purpose. This is where everything changes, because you can take care of yourself and you can live with discipline. But if you are not aligned with purpose, you will still feel empty. Alignment means your life is in sync with the reason you were created. It means your steps are ordered, your decisions are guided, your energy is not wasted on things that do not matter. Purpose is what makes you rise after failure. Purpose is what makes pain make sense. Purpose is what turns discipline from drudgery into joy. A woman aligned with purpose is like a river flowing in the right direction. Nothing can stop her because even obstacles only redirect her toward her destination. When a woman finds her purpose, she finds her power. She stops comparing herself to others because she realizes her race is unique. She stops chasing validation because she knows her worth is not up for debate. She stopped shrinking to fit in because she was never meant to blend in. She was meant to stand out. Alignment with purpose gives clarity. Clarity gives strength. Now, when you put these three together, self-care, discipline, alignment with purpose, you create a force that cannot be stopped. Self-care makes sure the vessel is strong. Discipline makes sure the vessel is steady. Purpose makes sure the vessel is going in the right direction. Without one, the other two cannot stand. But when all three work together, a woman becomes unshakable. Think of it like a tree. Self-care is the root. It nourishes, it stabilizes, it feeds the tree. Discipline is the trunk. It stands tall, structured, firm against the winds. Purpose is the fruit. It is the reason the tree exists, the evidence of life, the blessing for others. An unstoppable woman is like that tree, deeply rooted, firmly structured, and abundantly fruitful. And here's something else. Unstoppable woman is not perfect. She cries, she doubts, she stumbles, but she doesn't stay there. Self-care helps her heal. Discipline helps her rise. Purpose helps her keep going. She is not unstoppable because life never knocks her down. She is unstoppable because she refuses to stay down. Some of you have been running on empty and you wonder why you feel weak. It's because you've been skipping self-care. Some of you have big dreams. They are gathering dust because discipline is missing. And some of you are working hard, but you're working in circles because you are not aligned with purpose. But the good news is this: you can rebuild. You can choose today to take care of yourself. You can choose today to become disciplined. You can choose today to align with your true purpose. And if you do, nothing will stop you. An unstoppable woman does not need everyone to understand her. She does not need applause. She does not even need easy roads. She only needs to take care of her soul, stay disciplined in her habits, and stay aligned with the reason she was born. Combination makes her powerful beyond measure. So, my sister, hear me clearly. You are not fragile. You are not small. You are not forgotten. You are being built, and the more you invest in your self-care, the more you sharpen your discipline, the more you align with your purpose, more unstoppable you will become. You are a force. You are a light. You are a builder of legacies. And when the world sees you rising, they will wonder, what's her secret? But you will know it was not luck. It was not chance. It was not favoritism. It was self-care. It was discipline. It was alignment with purpose. That is the formula that builds an unstoppable woman. There is a dangerous lie many women have carried for generations, a lie that whispers, if you focus on yourself, you are selfish. A lie that says you are only valuable when you give, and give until there is nothing left. But let me tell you today, that lie has robbed too many women of their strength, their joy, and their identity. The truth is this: self-focus does not destroy love, it strengthens it. Self-focus does not block leadership, it multiplies it. Self-focus does not weaken your nurturing, it deepens it. Self-focus creates wholeness. Wholeness is the foundation that empowers women to nurture and inspire without running dry. Think about it. When a vessel is cracked, no matter how much water you pour in, it leaks. That is how many women lie, pouring out to everyone else while leaking their own strength through unhealed wounds, neglected needs, and overlooked dreams. They smile on the outside but are empty on the inside. They keep moving but deep down they are weary. That is why self-focus is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the act of sealing your cracks, mending your soul, filling your own cup, so that when you give from overflow, not depletion. Wholeness is power. Wholeness means you are not fractured by comparison, not torn apart by the weight of expectations, not broken by the need for approval. Wholeness means you can stand strong in who you are, and from that strength, you can pour into others with joy instead of resentment, clarity instead of confusion, with energy instead of exhaustion. A whole woman can lead because her leadership is not fueled by ego, but by vision. She does not lead to be seen, she leads because she is aligned. A whole woman can nurture because her nurturing is not birthed from obligation, but from love. She does not lose herself while caring for others because she knows how to care for herself. And a whole woman can inspire because her inspiration is not a mask, it is her authentic overflow. She inspires not by pretending to be perfect, but by showing how she continues to rise, heal, and walk in truth. Pause and ask you, when was the last time you checked in with yourself, not as a mother, not as a wife, not as a daughter, a sister, or a friend, simply as you? Because somewhere along the way, many women have forgotten themselves. They have become experts in everybody else's needs, but strangers to their own. But a woman who never pauses to check on herself will eventually run out of fuel. And you cannot lead, nurture, or inspire if you are running on fumes. Self-focus is the act of coming back home to yourself. It is the practice of saying, I matter too. It is giving yourself permission to rest, to heal, to learn, to grow, to dream again. It is refusing to be a background character in your own story. It is reclaiming your identity, your worth, your voice. And when you do that, you discover a level of wholeness that makes you unshakable. Now understand me, wholeness does not mean perfection. Wholeness means integration. It means you have learned to weave together the broken pieces of your past into a story of resilience. It means you embrace your flaws without being defined by them. It means you stand tall, not because everything is easy, because you refuse to let anything break your spirit. When a woman becomes whole, she stops leading from burnout. She stops nurturing from guilt. She stops inspiring from emptiness. Instead, she leads from wisdom, she nurtures from fullness, she inspires from authenticity. That is why self-focus is powerful, because it creates women who are steady, balanced, and able to carry their assignments without being crushed by them. Picture this: a woman who has neglected herself may look strong on the outside, but eventually her body gives out, her mind grows weary, and her spirit becomes restless. But a woman who invests in her wholeness, who rests, who sets boundaries, who says no when she needs to, who says yes to her dreams, becomes unstoppable. She can pour into her children without resentment. She can lead in her workplace without fear. She can inspire her community without collapsing under the weight of unrealistic expectations. Self-focus also teaches you the rhythm of balance. It helps you understand that you do not have to be everything to everyone all the time. It reminds you that your worth is not tied to your business, to your being. It shows you that your yes must mean yes, and your no must mean no. And when you find that balance, you begin to live with freedom, joy, peace. And let me tell you something. When a woman becomes whole, everybody connected to her benefits. Her children learn what healthy love looks like. Her friends experience the joy of someone who can give without resentment. Her workplace feels the strength of a leader who is grounded. Her community sees the light of someone who is not pretending, but shining from a real place of inner strength. That is the power of self-focus. It multiplies far beyond you. Wholeness also breaks cycles. Some of you grew up watching women who were depleted, women who sacrificed everything until there was nothing left of them. They taught you, not with words but with example, that this is what womanhood looks like. Hear me, it does not have to be that way. You can be the one who changes the story. You can be the one who shows the next generation that self-focus is holy. That wholeness is possible, that you can love others deeply without losing yourself. The unstoppable woman is not the one who never gets tired. She is the one who knows how to rest. She is not the one who never faces pressure. She is the one who knows how to protect her peace. She is not the one who does everything for everyone. She is the one who knows how to focus on herself, become whole, and then give from her abundance. So hear me clearly, focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is sacred. Self-focus is not neglected, it is nourishment. It is the soil in which wholeness grows. Wholeness is the gift that empowers you to lead with strength, nurture with love, and inspire with authenticity without depleting yourself. Today, I want you to give yourself permission to choose wholeness, to pause, to heal, to grow, to focus on you, not just for yourself, for everyone connected to your life. Because when you are whole, you lead better, you love deeper, and you inspire greater. So rise, woman. Focus on you. Step into wholeness. And from that wholeness, lead, nurture, and inspire, not from emptiness, but from overflow. Because the world does not need more depleted women. The world needs whole women. And that begins with you. There comes a time in every woman's life when she must make a decision that feels uncomfortable, even unpopular, but absolutely necessary. That decision is this: I choose myself, not in arrogance, not in selfishness, not in disregard for others. In full understanding that choosing yourself is the only way to protect your peace, preserve your purpose, and pursue your destiny. For too long, many women have been applauded for their sacrifices, yet ignored in their suffering. They are praised for pouring into everyone else, questioned the moment they turn to refill their own soul. Society tells you that choosing yourself is wrong, that you must always put others first, that your worth is proven only by how much you endure. But the truth is this: choosing yourself does not make you weak. It makes you wise. It does not make you heartless. It makes you whole. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are gates to protect what's sacred within. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are clarity. They communicate what you will allow, what you won't allow, and how others can honor your presence in their lives. Without boundaries, you will always find yourself depleted, taken advantage of, and overlooked. But when you set boundaries, you reclaim your power. A woman without boundaries is like a city with broken walls. Anything can come in and everything can drain her. But a woman with boundaries is like a fortress. She knows her value, she knows her limits, and she refuses to apologize for guarding her peace. Setting boundaries may feel hard at first. People will resist. Some will accuse you of changing. Others will label you selfish. But listen, their discomfort is not your problem. The truth is, you finally choose yourself. Those who only loved you for your weakness will fall away. And that is not loss. That is pruning. Distractions come dressed in many disguises, sometimes as opportunities, sometimes as relationships, sometimes as responsibilities that are not even yours to carry. They whisper, "This is urgent, this is necessary, this is important." But not everything urgent is aligned with your destiny. Not everything that demands your attention deserves your energy. Distractions are designed to drain you of focus, to steal your time, and to delay your destiny. That's why choosing yourself means learning the power of no. No to the relationship that tears you down more than it builds you up. No to the commitments that stretch you beyond your limits. No to the habits that weaken your spirit and rob you of peace. Every time you say no to a distraction, you are saying yes to your purpose. Every time you say no to what drains you, you are saying yes to what grows you. Every time you say no to what is temporary, you are saying yes to what is eternal. Here's the truth: saying no is not just about rejecting the wrong things. It is about making space for the right things. If your life is cluttered with distractions, there will be no room for destiny. But when you clear the noise, you create the capacity for clarity, and in clarity, you find your path forward. Destiny is the divine assignment over your life. It is the calling that keeps tugging at you in the midnight hour. It is the dream that refuses to die, even after years of delay. It is the purpose that is bigger than your pain, stronger than your doubts, greater than your fears. Choosing yourself means aligning your steps with that destiny. It means listening to that still, small voice inside that says, there is more for you. It means honoring your gifts, nurturing your talents, and walking boldly into the future you were created for. Destiny does not come without cost. To say yes to destiny, you must sometimes walk away from comfort. You must sometimes release the familiar. You must sometimes stand alone. Destiny will stretch you, test you, and challenge you, but it will also transform you. When you say yes to destiny, you stop living in survival and care and start living in significance. You stop existing for other people's approval and start thriving in your divine assignment. You stop shrinking to fit small places and start expanding into the fullness of who you were meant to be. Choosing yourself is not about abandoning others. It is about ensuring that you can fulfill your purpose for others. A woman who is drained cannot lead. A woman who is broken cannot nurture. A woman who is distracted cannot inspire. But a woman who sets boundaries, rejects distractions, and embraces destiny, she is unstoppable. And let me remind you, destiny is not selfish. Destiny is service. But it is service done from a place of strength, not weakness, wholeness, not depletion. When you live in destiny, your life becomes a blessing to others, not because you have sacrificed yourself to nothingness, but because you have cultivated yourself into fullness. So, my sister, hear me today. It is time to choose you. It is time to draw the line and protect your boundaries. It is time to silence the noise of distractions. It is time to embrace the divine yes that is calling you forward. Yes, it will cost you. Yes, some people will not understand. Yes, you may walk through seasons of loneliness, but on the other side of that choice is freedom, purpose, and destiny. And when you get there, you will realize that choosing yourself was never selfish, it was sacred. Choosing yourself means you finally understand that your life is worth protecting, your purpose is worth pursuing, and your destiny is worth saying yes to. So rise up, stand strong, choose yourself, because when you do, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone connected to you. When a woman chooses to invest in herself, something powerful begins to shift. It is not just her life that changes. It is not just her today that transforms. No. When a woman invests in herself, she is unlocking something far greater. She is opening the doors to generational strength, and she is planting the seeds of legacy that will outlive her. For too long, women have been told that they are at their best only when they are given everything away: time, energy, resources, and even their identity. Here is the truth: giving without investing in yourself is like pouring from an empty cup. Eventually, there is nothing left. Woman cannot build legacy if she is drained. She cannot raise up generations if she is broken. She cannot leave impact if she has abandoned herself. That is why investing in yourself is not optional. It is essential, because every choice you make to grow, to heal, to rise, to strengthen yourself does not stop with you. It creates ripples. It travels through your children, your community, your work, even through generations you will never meet. Think about it. When a woman decides to invest in her education, she is not just learning for herself, she is setting a standard for her children and grandchildren. When a woman invests in her health, she is not just caring for her body, she is modeling what self-respect looks like for everyone watching her. When a woman invests in her peace, she is not just protecting her own sanity. She is breaking cycles of chaos that would have carried on to those who come after her. Investing in yourself requires courage, because it means you refuse to live small. It means you refuse to settle for the bare minimum. It means you stop apologizing for taking time, space, and resources to build yourself. It means you silence the guilt that says, you are doing too much for yourself. No, investing in yourself is doing enough for the ones who will come after you. Because let's be clear, legacy is not built in one day. Legacy is built in daily decisions. Legacy is built when a woman chooses to heal instead of passing on her pain. Legacy is built when she chooses wisdom over impulse, purpose over distraction, faith over fear. Legacy is built when she understands that she is not just living for herself, she is carrying generations in her womb, in her influence, in her choices. When a woman invests in her mind, she unlocks wisdom that will guide her children. When she invests in her spirit, she unlocks peace that will anchor her household. When she invests in her confidence, she unlocks the courage for others to rise. When she invests in her purpose, she unlocks doors for the next generation to walk through with ease. But understand, this legacy is not about leaving behind money or material things. Those can be part of it. Legacy is about leaving behind strength, faith, vision, values, and courage that will carry your name long after you are gone. It is about building something that does not die when you die, but something that lives on in the lives you've touched. Every time a woman invests in herself, she is laying bricks for that legacy. She is creating a foundation so solid that her children and grandchildren can stand taller, dream bigger, and reach further than she ever did. Some of you may feel like you've wasted too much time, that it's too late to start investing in yourself. But hear me, it is never too late. Every step you take today is still a seed, and seeds do not care how long they have been waiting. Once planted, they grow. You may be the first in your family to pursue healing. You may be the first to pursue education. You may be the first to break unhealthy patterns. And yes, it will feel heavy at times, but you are not just doing it for you. You are doing it for generations. When a woman invests in herself, she breaks curses. She shifts atmospheres. She changes narratives. She takes back what life, trauma, or tradition tried to steal. She rewrites the story so that her daughters and sons will not have to fight the same battles. She paves roads so that her family can run faster, climb higher, build stronger. And here's the beauty: when you invest in yourself, you give permission to others to do the same. Your strength becomes contagious. Your courage becomes inspiring. Your growth becomes an invitation. Suddenly, the people around you begin to rise, not because you told them to, because they watched you do it first. That is why self-investment is never selfish. It is service, service to your future, service to your family, service to generations yet unborn. Think about the women who came before you. Some of them didn't have the freedom to invest in themselves. Some of them gave everything they had just to survive. Some of them never saw their dreams come true. But you are living today because they sacrificed. Now imagine what future generations will say about you. Will they say you survived? Or will they say you invested, you built, you created, you left them a legacy that they could build upon? Invest in your health. Invest in your peace. Invest in your education. Invest in your faith. Invest in your growth. Because every investment is not just for you. It is for your children, your community, your legacy. And when you rise, they will rise. When you shine, they will see the light. When you unlock your strength, you unlock theirs. That is the generational power carried in a woman who dares to invest in herself. So, my sister, this is your moment. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for applause. Do not wait until everything is perfect. Begin where you are. Plant the seed. Make the investment. Because when you do, you are not just building your life, you are building legacies. You are not just shaping today, you are shaping tomorrow. You are not just living, you are leaving strength behind. When a woman invests in herself, she unlocks generational strength. When a woman invests in herself, she builds legacy. And when a woman invests in herself, she becomes unstoppable, not just for her own sake, but for the sake of every soul connected to her name.